Indian hockey suffered after AstroTurf was introduced. The Indian economy and the markets are also facing a bit of a challenge on account of Trump changing the turf, changing the rules of the game of the global trade order. But very importantly, foreign institution investors, foreign money used to drive the Indian markets. I don't know how many of you know, now that has flipped. India's stock market has become a Atma nirbhar stock market. That is both good, it's an opportunity, and there is perhaps some element of risk. Everybody invests in the market now. People who don't think they invest are also, because your pension fund is also going there, your mutual fund is also going there. So as the head of the institution that is responsible for delivering one of the most robust market infrastructures in the world, is there any risk that we should be worried about, just like the AstroTurf change that happened many years ago and impacted Indian hockey very negatively?
Yes, I mean, you should always be paranoid. See, for me, every second counts, every microsecond counts. We give you response time in microseconds. A second has a million or a 10 lakh microseconds. And now in some markets, we give you a response in nanoseconds, which is every second has a billion nanoseconds. They give you response in 1/1000th of a second and stuff like that. But broadly, you need to be paranoid, especially people who are worried about how to create that infrastructure, how to create a railway on which so many wagons have to, so many trains have to pass. And you need to continue to maintain, manage. Some days you have to increase that size, the scale of that network. And that's what India needs to continue to be paranoid about its relationship with the rest of the world, but also what it does with the technology orientation it has got. Because the framework I have in mind is that over a period, the new technologies, new experiences create more wealth than the past framework. To give you a slightly sort of an understanding of how I think, is that in the olden days, people who had more goats and cows, heads, were the richest people. And then came agriculture. So people who had the larger farms were the rich people. And then came the industries, the factories. People who had more factories, they became the rich people. Because the newer things were creating more wealth than the previous things, right? And so today, a person might have 100,000 goats and he's still not considered that rich vis-a-vis a person having...
You need 100,000 shares to be considered wealthy?
Yes. So, and for me, in future, more people who are able to produce the digital wealth, experiences, those are that wealth is going to be much larger than the physical wealth. And that's where, how do you create that wealth going forward? And another framework which I have is, in the same logic, you require a lot of money to create more money, a lot of capital to create more capital. That's why it's called capitalism. Before Karl Marx came...
But is that applicable to India's traders? Because much of our markets are driven by sort of a day trader approach, and there is, of course, a regulatory debate happening on it. But are they just taking too many risks, Mr. Chauhan?
No, in some ways, let me complete that thought process on capitalism, that you had to put in more capital to create more capital. And India was capital starved. We did not have much money. So not many of us aspired to become entrepreneurs. Today, with changes in technology coming so fast and waves of technology coming fast, it has come to a stage where you require very little money to create new business. And that business can actually make huge amounts, like we have seen with Nandan Nilekani, Narayan Murthy creating billions out of nowhere by not putting too much money. And then came many waves of people, and last were all the Swiggy and Zomato boys who became billionaires, because it's not that they had a lot of money to put in. Little money, a lot of hard work, a lot of brains, a lot of exposure, and you can make more money, right? And for me, on the same answer to your question, that I would suggest all the day traders might like to become entrepreneurs and do something positive and productive, because the day trading is clearly not productive. It is going to lose money for everyone. And that is true with derivatives also. If you are not capable to understand derivatives, or do not have the ability to handle those shocks which can come with the losses, you rather stay away from that activity instead of going into it whole hog, right? So for me, the day trading, if you're expert, if you have ability to do things, yes. But otherwise, it's not for everyone. And that's why sometimes I say, you know, on television also you say that I have bought in the morning and then, sir, can I sell at what time, 320 or 325? Or I have to do this stop loss. For me, do something productive.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.